On this episode of the Apple Watchers, we got a lot to cover. A lot happened over the holidays. Future Apple Watch could have joystick-like digital crown. NYU doctor sues Apple over Apple Watch's ability to detect atrial fibrillation. Are we getting a product red Apple Watch? Apple and others to develop an open standard for smart home devices. Apple has a top secret team working on internet satellites. And do your AirPod Pros smell like blueberries? We'll tell you why. All this, our picks, and so much more. This is episode number 16. Welcome to the Apple Watchers, a podcast covering all things Apple Watch and many things Apple. This episode and every episode is brought to you by me, Kevin Hare, and my co-host Jonathan Zarko, aka Jay-Z. All right, let's get started. How are you? Happy New Year, and a happy New Year to all of our listeners. Happy 2020. Welcome to a new decade. Is it going to be the roaring 20s or the boring 20s? We'll see. We'll see.
Given everything that's going on right now, I'm going to say roaring.
Yeah, I guess so. And we are only 6 months away from the 2020 Worldwide Developers Conference already.
It's coming.
Yeah.
It's right here.
Yeah, we're almost there. I don't think I'll do the beta this time.
I don't know. I might try it. I'll risk it.
Yeah, maybe I'll let you handle that end. So over the holidays, too, through the Shazam app, they were offering 6 months of Apple Music free. Did you take advantage of that at all?
No, I didn't even see any kind of advertisement or anything for that. Although, personally, I use Spotify, so it wouldn't really change much for me.
You did the initial, 3 months free, right?
I did.
Yeah.
I used their interface. And
what's cool about this, because I actually did it, I did the 3 months free, but this gave me 3 months free instead of 6 months.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay. So you got to have a little extra time. That's cool.
Yeah. My fiance did it too. Why not take advantage of it? I like the radio shows on there. That's kind of the only thing that sets Apple Music apart from Spotify and Google Play Music and YouTube Music. The radio shows.
I would say
the
thing that I would really be interested in, or why I'm every once in a while tempted to go back to Apple Music, is literally just because the way it's integrated into the phone is better.
Oh, yeah.
Even though they opened it up so that Spotify could talk to Siri and stuff like that, it's not that perfect.
I really dig the radio shows, though, and being able to listen to past episodes. Mike D from the Beastie Boys has a show, and Elton John, a lot of other people.
Those are those Apple Music programs that are specific, the ones that Apple produced, right? You're talking about?
Yeah. They're almost like a podcast with music, because they talk.
Cool.
And I like that. So my fiance is now in the Apple Watch Club. She has a 42 millimeter Apple Watch Series 5 in gold aluminum with the red, product red Sport Loop.
Ah,
yeah, it looks really
fancy.
Nice. Yeah, it looks
pretty.
Nice on her skin. But we'll see. Hopefully she likes it. She's testing it out. I told her you got 14 days to return it. So,
is she figuring out her rings yet?
No. And and she keeps telling me to take off my watch because I keep beating her. And even though I have my calories set higher, I still beat her. And I'm 10 years older.
Yeah.
But, not to brag or anything. But, yeah. Oh, that reminds me, too, is I have it in the doc. But there's a challenge starting, it's for this month. They've done it kind of every year, except they didn't do it last year. But it's you get an award. This is the Apple Watch Challenge, and this one is 7 days of closing your rings in a row.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, in the month of January. You should be able to do that, no problem. My thing is on the weekends, I kind of get a little more sedentary, but I hope to work out today and work out tomorrow. At work, it's not an issue because I do a hike and a walk at work on break. So anybody that wants to take part in that, it's on your Apple Watch. It'll just automatically do it if you do those workouts or close your rings 7 days in a row.
You just go take a walk to lunch.
Yeah.
Like, find a place a little bit further away. That's literally what we do.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, we're in downtown Burbank, so everything is within walking distance, but it's better than driving down there and then parking in a structure and walking the same distance to wherever we're going to go anyways.
Yeah.
So that's actually part of the reason why we're able to close our rings so easily, is because we'll walk down to Burbank into downtown, have lunch, and then we'll walk around. And I just set it as a walk because we're like, we're going to go a mile or whatever. Or go down and do that. And
yeah, that's the way to do it. So I'm still having issues with the battery on my Apple Watch Series 5. It's just not as good at all as the Series 4.
Even after the software updates and stuff, it hasn't been fixed. Because I know when you first got it was like magic.
It was pretty good. It really didn't seem like it was good as the 4, the Series 4. But it's not lasting as long. And I've done a hard reset, and then I reset all settings and set it up as a new watch, and it's still not very good. So I don't know. I may have to make an appointment with the geniuses.
Can you disable the always on?
Yep. But here's my thing. I shouldn't have to do anything. It's a very expensive watch.
Totally fair. Yes.
They put it out there with the always on face. It should last just as long. So pretty much in the morning when I wake up, because I sleep with it, the watch. I sleep with the watch on. When I wake up, it's getting down to like 15%. So when you set it on the charger, it's kind of got the red alert, like you're really low. But my Series 4 wasn't like that at all. So I'll definitely be taking it in if it continues. And it's been up and down. I think I might have mentioned that on the last episode, which was about a month ago. But it was really up and down. So some days the battery life was really good, and some days it was terrible, which is really odd. It almost seems
that makes me think that it might be an issue with the actual physical battery in it.
Yeah, either that, or I had a hunch that maybe the software isn't actually reading the battery life correctly. Because
could be that too.
Because it was really good some days. Like I was like, man, this is insane, better than ever. But then 2 days later it would be horrible. So I don't know.
And no weird like apps or something running in the background. Or anything.
Especially now because I streamlined it. I don't have as many apps on the watch when I reset it up and repaired it with my phone. But we'll see what happens. We had a couple updates to iOS 13 over the holidays. Well, that was like on the 10th of somewhere around the 10th of December. And not a major update, but it did bring something that's kind of cool. Enables the use of FIDO2 compliant USB-C, NFC, and Lightning physical security devices with Apple's Safari browser. So you can actually plug it into your phone or iPad. And so that's pretty cool.
That actually is really cool because it means it's an evolution of web-enabled products and capabilities. So where things like NFC may have had to be done through a app, they're opening it up so that now you'd be able to do things like that through a website. So, very cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And if people don't know what those are, they're kind of a little key that looks like a USB thumb drive. They look similar to that. So it's pretty cool. And it looks like they also fixed an AirDrop bug that was letting anyone look up nearby iPhones. They were able to flood your phone with files. So
it's funny. It wasn't really a bug. It was more that they didn't expect somebody to abuse the system. I don't know if you've ever had this happen before, but if you have your AirDrop open to everyone, you'll be standing in line like at an amusement park or waiting for a movie or something, and all of a sudden you'll just get a random picture AirDrop to you. And sometimes it's a funny meme, sometimes it's a dick, like just random things. But it's people just messing around. Well, essentially somebody could go in and before they put this fix in there, allow you to just gets spammed with a bunch of them, just one right after another, bam, 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 bam. And when you do that, every individual file comes up on your screen as like will you accept this? Will you accept this? And so if they sent it to you enough times that it could get stuck in a loop and just kind of, you can't get your phone back. You have to try to turn it off or, get away. But so I guess now it says they limited the number of AirDrop messages that can be sent to an iOS device in quick succession.
Yeah. So that's, good fix. So why don't we get into some Apple Watch stories? Maybe you want to start this one off because you have issues with the Digital Crown. I love the Digital Crown, but
I have said before that I would be fine with an Apple Watch with no Digital Crown. I like a streamline. I don't need a little faux bumpy thing, but I understand the aesthetic of it. There are some times when the Digital Crown is very convenient and nice, so I understand it being there and part of the design. But future Apple Watch could have a joystick-like Digital Crown.
Yeah.
So in a patent granted by the U.S. Trademark Office on Tuesday titled Captive Gap Sensor Ring for an Electronic Watch, Apple suggests the Digital Crown could be turned into a form of a joystick or directional controller. So that crown could be created from a cap or a shaft that could be moved in multiple directions. So it'd still probably look like a crown.
Yeah.
Instead of being able to turn it, you could push it back and forth, left and right, up and down kind of thing.
Now I wonder, because you actually kind of spin that Digital Crown by accident sometimes, right?
Yes. And so that's one of my largest gripes that I wanted to bring up. When I have music playing, I have been hitting it by accident, and it's been lowering down the volume to nothing. And I'm sitting there when it happened the first few times, I'm sitting there trying to figure out what the heck happened. Is it my AirPods are no longer playing, or is it a problem when I have the music streaming to the TV? Like all these other things are controlled, and it's this little itty bitty thing, and like an innocuous movement is now shutting down all of the audio. And once I figured out what it was, then it's easy for me to correct. But it seems to happen even when I really I'm not even doing anything, all that crazy. If I'm just sitting there on the couch and you scratch your face a weird way, and all of a sudden all the audio goes off.
Huh.
So
that's interesting.
I actually looked to see if there's a way to disable it, and there's not, unfortunately.
No. That's interesting too, because I've never even heard of anyone hitting that by accident. And I wonder with a joystick if it could be worse for some people.
That is a thing. So I would want to be able to control what that does. Now, I will say this: what I have learned is I've just adapted my usage of the app, and I have found that turning the Digital Crown will only control your volume if I'm within, say, like the Spotify app on my watch, and a lot of times it pulls that up automatically. Like if I'm on a ride, I can swipe over and it's right there. Or if music is playing and I look at my watch, it decides that that's convenient and wants to show me that that's what is playing. So all I have to do is just press on it and it goes back to the home screen.
Yeah.
And it won't do that anymore. So now if I notice that my watch is set to that, I just try to put it back to the home screen, and it seemed to have resolved the issue. But still, it was a little bit of a moment where I'm like, I don't know what's going on. This seems like a bug. There's got to be an issue. Oh, I'm just hitting a thing.
Interesting.
But now what would be interesting, though, is the different opportunities that come out of having a joystick instead of a crown like that, right?
Yeah.
Because there could be graphical elements that are manipulated by a joystick.
Yeah, like similar to like a mouse, right?
Yeah, you could have a little mouse, or you could have lines or something like that you're able to move up and down. And I'm wondering if we had talked about this before with glasses, using your watch as a control or input device so that you can control what you're seeing on your glasses. And so I could definitely see people having, a pair of Apple Glass or whatever they call them, AR headset, and then have a watch and be using that little Digital Crown joystick to help click and control different input things. So I see what you're laying down here, Apple. I see you, man.
Yeah.
I'm watching.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're going.
Yeah, and if it was a joystick, I would finally be able to draw on my Apple Watch.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
that would be so
just solving
great.
problems left and right here.
Yeah, that's what everyone wants. Okay, let's move on. There's a lot of stories. I didn't mention that at the top of the show, but a lot happened over the holidays, so we're going to try to speed through these. So we already mentioned the Ring in the New Year activity challenge. So this next story, family says they were scammed out of an Apple Watch at an Oklahoma Walmart. Excuse me. So Kristen
would happen at a Walmart.
Yeah, yeah, and basically they, it was a mom and her son. When they got home and opened the box for this Apple Watch, it was like they claim it was like the test unit, the one that's sitting on display, which is not, it doesn't have the real software running on it. So I guess they were trying for several weeks to, have this handled. And so far, last we left off in December, it was not taken care of. They were trying to get a refund and they'd still not received a refund. So, yeah, pretty interesting.
So they bought it from a Walmart?
Yeah.
It's so weird.
Yeah, well, basically probably means that someone that works at Walmart took the actual watch home and swapped it out. Yeah. So
that's a bummer. Well, hopefully they're either get it exchanged or get a refund.
Yeah.
There is also another article about a New York University doctor who sued Apple over Apple Watch's ability to detect atrial fibrillation. So the doctor's suing Apple over the feature. He claims that the Apple Watch infringes on his patent, for a method to detect an irregular heartbeat. So in his patent, the doctor, by the way, his name is Joseph Weasel. So just putting that out there.
Maybe
Weasel says that.
Yeah, maybe it's
patent,
pronounced Weisel. Maybe.
Weisel.
But yeah.
Weisel. His patents marked the pioneering steps in monitoring for the atrial fibrillation detection. But anyways, he teaches there, and he thinks that his patent that was awarded back in 2006 describes the method and determined that it's possible, and that Apple is using that. And he says he reached out to Apple in September 2017 about a partnership, but Apple didn't entertain his requests.
No.
So, and Apple has refused to negotiate in good faith to avoid the lawsuit. I think Apple's lawyers are going to come in and say, yeah, not so much, buddy.
Yeah, and this guy wants to block Apple from using his patent atrial fibrillation technology without permission and royalties. So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see where this goes, but
yeah, we'll keep an eye on it.
Yeah,
see what the Weasel has to say. Sorry, Weisel.
Yeah. So this is a kind of a funny rumor. I don't know how I feel about it, but Apple reportedly planning a Product Red Apple Watch Series 5, which in theory could come out anytime soon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like the colors they have. I'm a, somewhat of a traditional watch guy. So, unless you were wearing a Swatch, you really, there's not a lot of red watches out there. Mm-hmm. And I personally wouldn't be interested in a red watch or even any other colors, a blue, a yellow. Black looks classy, gold, silver, titanium.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I do think people would buy it for sure.
I think it targets more of a younger crowd or demographic. It's definitely for people who use and like a lot of color. I would oddly be attracted to it. I don't know if I would buy it, but imagine you pair it with a black band. It could be kind of a cool, statement piece, so to speak. So
yeah, it's a commitment though, because it doesn't go with every outfit you're wearing. It's where
right. It
a gold or black or silver kind of goes.
But again, you can pair it in with, I think, a band, the right kind of bands or colors or something like that. If you were really that passionate about it.
Yeah, and I guess some people slap a case around their watch too. You know?
Yeah, there's that. And I will say, like, we got my wife the iPhone 11, just the standard, and that one came out in the product red, and that's what we got her, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it will look nice. It will be a nice piece. And if you think about it too, most of the face is black. So really you're just getting a little bit of red around the sides, especially if you change the band. So
yeah,
I don't know. Could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
Plus Product Red is a great organization. And so, helping fund the treatment for HIV and AIDS is also always a nice thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So going from nice thing though to not so nice thing, Apple Watch. Man's Apple Watch proves he lied about anti-Semitic stabbing in West Bloomfield. So police are crediting technology for helping them solve a case about a man who said he was stabbed in an anti-Semitic attack December 15th. Sean Sammet said he was attacked as he left a synagogue that day in the Jewish community in West Bloomfield. Police say he made the whole story up and found out thanks to the information on his Apple Watch. So basically, he said that he left the synagogue, and then some guy came out and shouted anti-Semitic comments and stabbed him as he left work. Sammet said that he fought the attacker off and drove himself to the Henry Ford Hospital. But police say that his story didn't add up, and that a thorough search of the parking lot found no evidence. That's when they analyzed Sammet's Apple Watch and looked at his heart rate when Sammet claims the attack happened. Investigators say that his heart rate was normal and should have been higher. But the watch showed that the attack but the watch showed before the attack that Sammet's heart rate was elevated. That led police into the synagogue where they found bloody tissues and a knife Sammet used to stab himself. So he stabbed himself before he went out and then said that he was attacked. He said, "We all have to think about the actions that we do. And so these little imprints, whether on his phone, his watch, or his camera, it just really shows that every action we do isn't going to go unnoticed." Sammet's now charged with filing a false police report, and why he made up the attack is still unknown.
Man, I came across this story last night, and I was just in shock that someone would do something like this, especially with all that's been going on over the holidays here in the States. At synagogues, there's been people shot and killed. This is just horrible.
There's enough terrible people in the world that I don't think we need to be making up stories about this. And it just ends up causing noise when something terrible does actually happen and makes people desensitized, which is really sad.
Yeah.
So, if you need attention, maybe try to become a social media influencer instead. You don't need to make up some hate crime.
Or, if you need attention, why don't you try helping people,
Yeah. Oh, for sure. That's an even better route.
Yeah.
I instantly went to the Vapid place. But yeah, no. Helping people is way better.
Yeah.
Donate some time, man. Get out there.
Yeah. Well, it did, on the flip side of this article, it did have me wondering about the privacy implications, because why were they checking his watch, too, which is kind of weird.
If they went outside and they said, like, there's no evidence of him being stabbed, and we can't find anybody, and like, well, let's see, what was going on within him at that time. And I think at that point, too, I wonder if he would have had to have given them the information or if they were able to get a warrant to go through it. But either way.
Yeah, the article doesn't specify, and that's what got me wondering. Anyways, why don't we move on to some Apple stories? So right before the holidays, right around the second week of December, they launched a new iPhone financing plan if you use the Apple Card. So it's 0% for 24 months, which is pretty interesting. And
that's a great deal.
Yeah, and so you would get the standard 3% cash back. However, let me note that up until December 31st, you were able to get 6% cash back. If you
bought the phone outright?
If you bought it outright with the Apple Card. And other devices. Most Apple products had this same deal. A Mac, Apple Watch, most devices. iPad for sure. Yeah, you would get 6% cash back. Me and my fiance actually did take advantage of this. That's how I purchased her Apple Watch.
That's awesome.
And she purchased some things too because she was getting ready to purchase them anyways. And why not take advantage of the 6% instead of 3%? So
yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So the 6% deal is gone, but the 3% is still there, and it's still a pretty good deal. And it's just another way to buy an iPhone. So you can either
when you think about it too, a lot of other like phone companies, if you spread your payments out, they're charging you a little bit of interest. You end up paying a little bit more.
Yeah.
So in this case, with an Apple Card, you pay 0 interest, and in fact, you actually get a 3% discount.
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, and it's it's similar to the upgrade program, except you technically own your phone, but you'll have to sell it, as where the Apple's upgrade program, you send back your old phone to Apple.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of the only difference, but just another way to buy an iPhone, and that probably helps for family buying several iPhones, maybe cheaper iPhones too. So.
Yeah. Super cool.
Yeah.
So next story, Apple accounts for 35% of the global wearables market. This is from a research firm, IDC, and it released its third quarter estimates for the global wearable shipments from December 9th. According to the report, Apple continues to gain significant traction in the wearable space. Their overall shipments grew 94.6% year over year to 84.5 million units. The firm's shipments rose by a massive 195.5% to 29.5 million units, accounting for 35% of the global wearable market. So the IDC report stated that Apple captured the top position thanks to the growing popularity of the Apple Watch, AirPods, and Beats headphones. Looking ahead, the price reduction on the Series 3 watch, as well as the launch of the Apple AirPod Pro, leaves Apple in a strong position to maintain dominance in this market for a short term. And I do want to just add a little color off of this. AirPods Pros are amazing. I got a pair for my wife for Christmas, and she loves them. Being able to, cancel out a lot of the work or the noise at work is really great. It also works out here too. So while she's on the computer or studying or doing something else, she's able to help, be concentrating on that, even though there's TV and stuff going on around. So
yeah. Oh, I didn't
highly recommend.
Yeah, and I didn't mention I got a pair coming. That's what my fiance bought me.
All right.
They won't be here for a while. And I had dropped an article.
Did you get a poop emoji engraved on?
Well, that's what I was just going to say. I just saw these articles pop up like the last 2 days that you can get an emoji. Yeah, and then she texted when I sent her that information, she sent me back the poop emoji. But I would probably have to cancel that order and then redo it would be my guess.
Yes.
And it takes longer if you add any engraving to the case.
Yeah.
And I put my AirPods in a case, but I don't know. Part of me still wants the emoji, even though it'll be covered up. I just kind of want it. Why? I don't know. But yeah, I have a pair coming, but hopefully they'll be here. I don't know. It may not be till February.
Well, my wife's other favorite Christmas present that she got this year was a label maker. So maybe we could print out a little emoji for you. You could just stick it on there.
Oh, there you go. So this next article, we've kind of mentioned something about this before, possible under display Touch ID patent. Well, not the patent, but coming, under display Touch ID coming to the iPhone. There are some other phones that do this already, some Android phones. But they won the patent on December 19th.
All right.
So still don't know if they'll use it, but we'll see. Whatever episode it was that we mentioned it, I would like to see Face ID and a fingerprint sensor under the screen so that you can use both. I wouldn't really want one replaced over the other. So we'll see if this happens.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure they would do that, but I I would be fine with having both as well. I will say with the 11 and the 11 Pro, Face ID has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah,
and it's very infrequently now that I need to like shift my face out of the way or have it scan. Even when I'm got my face partially obscured, it's able to detect it pretty easily. So less of an issue for me now, but I would like to see it, integrated into like, I don't know, maybe like an iPad or a computer or something like that. If I were to tap on it, or I could see it being utilized in cheaper iPhones. Like if they did a smaller, they have the Pro series and then they have the regular series, maybe utilizing it in that, or if the rumor is that they're going to revamp the SEs and do a full screen display on an SE, they could do that, but still have a fingerprint scanner, because I think that technology is just overall cheaper to produce. So, yeah, we could see.
Yeah.
But very exciting.
Yeah, it'd be cool.
All right. How Apple's Find My feature helped this woman find her stolen car. So originally known as the Find My iPhone, Apple's Find My feature has been around for years, and it turns out it can be useful for locating a lot more than just a missing iPhone. Since, of course, it can help track down whatever the iPhone is currently attached to, as one woman in Iowa recently discovered. So according to KCCI Des Moines, a 19-year-old Victoria O'Connor found Apple's feature particularly helpful when her car was stolen with her iPhone and wallet inside. O'Connor reported it to police, who worked to track it down with the Find My app, but lost the signal when the iPhone was powered off, either because the thieves had been clever enough to do so or the battery had simply gone dead. O'Connor's car was stolen on Monday night at a local convenience store when she had left the car running while she made a quick stop, and had been the young woman's de facto home since a fire had destroyed her apartment building in September. So needless to say, she was eager to find the car since it contained all of her personal belongings she had left. Fortunately, on Tuesday morning, O'Connor was alerted that the missing iPhone had come back online, and police were able to use Find My to locate the stolen car at a nearby apartment building. Sadly, while the car was recovered, the iPhone itself was no longer in it. Neither were O'Connor's keys or wallet. Police believe the iPhone is inside one of the apartment units, but are still working to track down which one. Police are also reviewing camera footage from the Quick Trip convenience store, where the car was stolen, in hopes of identifying the thieves. It's not yet clear why the iPhone came back online, although presumably one of the culprits switched it back on or simply plugged it in to recharge after a battery went dead. While it's unclear what steps the police will have taken to track down the iPhone, the person who wrote the article, a man by the name of Jesse Hollington, once had success locating a lost iPhone in an apartment building using the Play Sound feature of Find My to keep it, to make it repeatedly sound alerts until he was able to locate the apartment that the sound was coming from. Although in that case, it helped that I already knew the specific floor which the iPhone had been lost. So
yeah,
I had something similar happen.
Oh yeah, you actually mentioned that on a previous episode,
previous podcast. Yeah.
Now, this makes me think of the rumored tags that Apple's coming out with.
Tiles.
The tiles. So I could see people using the tiles, definitely, because you can attach it to so many things and track it down. Now I wonder if it'll have like a little speaker, so you
can play things.
Just to play a sound.
Yeah.
On when your device is lost or whatever you're tracking. Because
I don't know.
Yeah, because I guess it would be fine without the sound, but this is very interesting that the car was found using Find My. So there's definitely a market for these tiles that are rumored to come out, for sure.
Well, the Find My 2 is super powerful, and when the phone is on, you can literally track it around. Like I had mentioned in a previous one, we followed the phone down alleys trying to find a car because I was trying to recover my iPhone. Unfortunately, it wasn't successful, but I did track it down to a neighborhood street, and it had kind of the similar thing where I'm like, I know it's in one of these 4 houses, and I couldn't. I kept having it make it play the sound just to try to be annoying to people. And it kept sending it messages like, if you give me it back, I'll give you a reward, all these other things. Ultimately, the police were like, yeah, they didn't actually steal it. They just found it and didn't turn it in. So it's not really a high crime. And so we'll get there when we get there if you want help. And so I just ultimately cut bait. But yeah, I'd like to see Find My get even better, where you can be even tighter.
Yeah.
And if the tiles come in, and you can just literally use another iPhone to kind of play a hot and cold game until you get near it. You're like, oh, I found it. It's here. It's in there.
Slap a tile on your car, like underneath the wheel well or something. Somewhere, and then
you can find it.
Yeah. It's very cool. Interesting story. Where Find My was used to not find their iPhone, but their actual car. It's crazy. So anyway, this next story is fantastic. I love this. Apple, Amazon, Google, and Zigbee alliance to develop open standard for smart home devices. All I can say is finally. So a Apple, Amazon, Google, and Zigbee alliance was announced on December 18th, a new working group that plans to develop and promote the adoption of new IP-based connectivity standard for all smart home products, with a focused increase on compatibility, security, and simplified development for manufacturers. This is fantastic. Other companies are supposed to join in too. IKEA, Legrand, NXP Semiconductors, Residio, whatever that is, Smart Things, Schneider Electric, Signify, Silicon Labs, Somfy, and Woolean. They're all supposed to contribute too. This would be fantastic. If anybody out there has ever shopped for a smart device, you might hear about a great deal on, say, a smart plug, and then you go to find out that it only works with Google and Alexa. Amazon. Yeah. And it's a total drag. The security too, these companies really have to make the security better. That's definitely an issue with this.
Yeah. So that would be great. So their so-called project Connected Home over IP would just make it easier for them to, be able to make these smart devices, which would be awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. The new connectivity standard will be an open source and royalty free with code to be maintained on GitHub. So
super cool. That means then other people will be able to make products and stuff too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This would be great. I mean, it's a total headache when you're trying to buy smart devices and trying to get them to work with your system, whatever ecosystem you're in. So
I mean, ultimately, it just makes it so that we can have a better future.
Yeah,
if we're able to standardize all this stuff, because it means there's more products that can get made. That means more competition, more innovation, and we're that much closer to a house like Jetsons.
Yeah, yeah. So this next story, I'll let you take it because you have your AirPods Pros already. I do not.
I do.
But do they smell like blueberries?
I had never sniffed my AirPods before.
Until today.
But after seeing this article, I did. And they do. It's weird. It's very, very faint, but there is a slight sweet scent to them, which maybe explains why that kid swallowed them.
Oh, yeah. We'll get to that story.
But, they have a slight blueberry smell to them if you sniff really hard. Apparently, some experts are saying that it's all in the plastics, that it comes from esters, chemical compounds used in plastic manufacturing. And so, those different compounds are commonly associated with fruity odors. Pineapple, banana, blueberries are common fruit esters.
Maybe they could custom make these scents.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
if I could choose to, I want my AirPods to be blueberry smell or strawberry smell.
Banana, Yeah, that'd be great. Very handy.
Or maybe, maybe if they also had it associated with colors, right? So like black ones were blueberry smelled and yellow ones were.
That's right. That's right.
Or banana, red were strawberry.
Yeah.
But so it's the reported blueberry fragrance of the Apple AirPod Pro is very similar to that of a new car smell, or as Gossman called it, off-gassing. So essentially, plastics have molecules that when they're new, they off gas, smells, or odors. So eventually it'll go away. But yeah, if you just got a new pair of headphones or Apple AirPods, give them a whiff. See what they smell like.
Yeah, when I get mine, I got to remember to smell them first before I do the little test, the fit test.
The fit test, yeah.
Yeah, I got to smell them first. So this next story, Apple in negotiations to expand Apple TV Plus, of course, but with live sports and more movies. So it looks like they're considering making deals with the Pac-12, I guess that's college football, and MGM to acquire content to bolster Apple TV Plus, of course. So this would be interesting. Not too much to say about this, but obviously they're really pushing Apple TV Plus. So I think we'll hear a lot of news actually this year regarding Apple TV Plus. But this is probably just the beginning.
I think they've been learning a lot from Apple Music about creating content and having people come back and visit. You were talking about the radio programs before, and so this might be one of those next steps. They were saying that MGM was looking for a distribution partner for its cable channel Epix. So it may be more than movies too. It might be some TV shows and stuff as well.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool.
All right. Another very cool thing.
Yeah, that's a kind of a big story.
Yeah. Apple has top secret team working on internet satellites. This is coming from Bloomberg. But Apple has a secret team working on satellite technology that the iPhone maker could use to beam internet services directly to devices, bypassing wireless networks, according to people familiar with the work. The California-based iPhone maker has about a dozen engineers from the aerospace, satellite, and antenna design industries working on the project with the goal of developing their results within 5 years. Work on the project is still early and could be abandoned, and the people said, and a clear direction and use for satellites hasn't been finalized. Still, Apple Chief Executive Officer Tim Cook has shown interest in the project, indicating it's a company priority. So Apple's work on communication satellites and next-generation wireless technology means the aim is likely to beam data to users' devices, potentially mitigating the dependence on wireless carriers or for linking devices together without a traditional network. Apple could also be exploring satellites for more precise location tracking for its devices, enabling improved maps and new features.
This is really cool. Yeah. There's a lot they can do with this. I wonder, I'm hoping it's true.
Yeah, I'm curious if it would be used for small devices like an iPad or an iPhone, or if the end goal is actually to be for smart cars.
And glasses.
And glasses, that'd be good too. I want a satellite beaming a thing directly to my face. That'd be good.
Yeah, that's right.
But ultimately, too, if you think about it, like if you have autonomous vehicles or something, and you're trying to drive around, you may end up in rural areas where there aren't good networks, and you still need to be able to do that. And I imagine it's probably fairly expensive. So it may be a little, for the market anyways, cost inhibitive to have it for your phone or your iPad. But if it's part of like a service that it's part of your car, that I could see.
Yeah.
Now, if I could then have my car also broadcast out that internet to my devices, then we're golden.
Yeah. Very, very interesting story. We'll see where this goes. I would imagine we won't hear too much about it.
Develops into something.
Yeah, probably won't hear too much about it for a while. So anyways, Apple sold $6 billion worth of AirPods in 2019 and should sell more than double that this year. That's according to analyst he's a Bernstein analyst named Tony Sacconaghi. Growth could accelerate in 2021 as many iPhone users will have already purchased AirPods, Sacconaghi says. The analyst said in a note that Apple could sell 85 million AirPods in 2020.
Holy cow.
Generating about $15 billion in revenue. If sales of the wireless headphones grow at the same rate in 2021, The product could become Apple's third largest business. That is crazy.
Yeah.
That is crazy. But yeah, they can't even keep them in stock. When my fiance went to purchase them, if you go to the Apple Store app, you can see if they're available at any local Apple stores. They're nowhere. and all the stores say that they'll be in at the end of January. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
I mean, I think they're finally seeing the fruits from their Beats acquisition with these.
And oh yeah.
Yeah, they are incredible.
Yeah.
So, talk about incredible too. Apple opened security bug bounty to all researchers. So they've revamped their security bounty, setting their sites higher and their rewards higher for anyone finding bugs in the software, especially in beta releases. So it now covers all operating systems and no longer requires an invitation, so anyone can do this. It was a limited scope back in 2016, and it would pay out a maximum of $200,000. But now the ceiling is generally $1 million. And Apple will also pay a further 50% if the bug is found in beta software that can be fixed before public release.
Man,
so
this is great. This is
part of the reason why I'm going to be going on those betas, man. If I can find some bugs, collect my $1 million.
That's right. Yeah. Well, if you find it in beta, you get $1,500,000, right?
$1.5 million, yeah, even better.
Yeah, that's a good little chunk of change.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. So yeah, that's good news for all of us. That's great. Awesome. So we had mentioned Apple glasses for a second, a little bit before. So there's rumors that it could have a detachable speaker unit. They actually filed a patent for display system having an audio output device. So that kind of indicates that it could be a removable speaker. Yeah, not too much to say on this. It's only a rumor. See where this goes.
I'm trying to think of what the use case on that would be. But if you were, if you had a voice disability,
yeah,
it could be a cool tool to help you communicate with other people.
Yeah, I mean, and they obviously file patents just to hold on to them, even if they don't use them. So we'll see where they go with that, because we just mentioned AirPods and how many they're selling, so I don't know how there would be a separate headphone that maybe possibly only attaches to your Apple glasses. I don't know.
Yeah
I don't know.
Well, I understood it as like a speaker that goes out, so it's not even for the person wearing them. But yeah, interesting.
Maybe. Yeah. Huh. Well.
So, hacker who tried to blackmail Apple by threatening to delete 319 million iCloud accounts gets a 2-year sentence. Oh, shocker. So this story goes back to 2017. And so there was this 22-year-old man from North London who demanded that Apple give them either $75,000 in cryptocurrency or $100,000 in iTunes gift cards in exchange for deleting what he claimed as a massive database of iCloud accounts. Now, the report notes that the guy's name was Karim Albayrak, and that he contacted Apple Security 2 years ago, claiming to have the account details from his internet buddies, and he was planning to sell it online. He uploaded a video to YouTube showing him accessing 2 seemingly random iCloud accounts, and sent the link to Apple's security team as well as several media outlets, and threatened to factory reset every iCloud account in his possession. Seeing there was one major flaw in his plan, though. The database of 319 million iCloud accounts that he thought he had wasn't actually valid. Apple's response: naturally, Apple wasn't about to give in to his demands, and instead contacted law enforcement officials in the UK, and the US, Britain's NCA, led the UK side of the investigation, and it clearly didn't take long to track down Albayrak. He was arrested at his home address only a week later, and they also seized all of his devices. So, moral of the story is, don't be a jerk and try to blackmail Apple.
Yeah.
And for the rest of us, protect yourself with a unique password for iCloud and use two-factor authentication.
Yes.
Super easy, and you won't have any kind of hacking or issues with your data.
Yeah, and even if you think using two-factor authentication is kind of a pain in the butt, it's worth it, because it definitely can usually stop something like this from happening, someone taking your data. But
and it's typically not that. I mean, I will say Apple has done a very good job with the two-factor authentication. It's not that inconvenient.
No,
it works a lot better now. It comes up on like all of your devices, and that's essentially what is supposed to do, right? So if somebody else is accessing your account, you should get a prompt randomly on one of your devices showing you a passcode for that, and you can either say like, no, it's not me, and it'll shut it down, or it lets you know that there's somebody trying to access it, and so you can go in and try to change your password and stuff too. So
yeah, crazy. Moving on. So there was a big holiday iPhone heist at a Best Buy.
Oh no.
Yeah, biggest heist took place in Ardmore, Oklahoma, where police say Best Buy employees stole $200,000 worth of iPhones from a distribution center, according to the local News 12 report there. Yeah, in another Best Buy theft, police say the men broke into a store in Somerville, South Carolina, and lifted about 100 iPhones worth about $100,000, according to the local report.
Jeez,
so, man,
this is like a movie.
Yeah, I mean, this would probably happen every holiday season, would be my guess. So, probably be covering stories next year. Same thing. Same type of thing. Crazy.
Wow.
So.
Alrighty. Well, kind of like what we were talking about before. So, a boy is hospitalized after eating his AirPods he got for Christmas. So, for one family in DeKalb County, Georgia, the shiny white AirPods proved so tantalizing that they landed a 7-year-old boy in the hospital. The youngster who had reportedly received the AirPods as a Christmas gift went ahead and swallowed one of them, probably because they smelled like blueberries. According to local news reports, the boy's grandmother was watching the child when his mother was at work. The boy apparently began choking on something, and the boy's grandmother rushed the boy to the hospital, where he was met with the boy's mother. At this point, it was apparent that the boy had accidentally swallowed one of his new Apple AirPods. After being admitted, the x-rays revealed that the boy had indeed swallowed one of the new earbuds. After considering the possible options for retrieving the AirPod, doctors eventually decided that it would make the most sense to let the tiny gadget pass through his digestive system and make its own exit rather than going to get it. So, the boy is understandably a little bit traumatized by the whole ordeal, and reportedly refuses to go near his iPhone because he fears that it might sync up with the AirPods still resting in his digestive system. Though that's probably not likely.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Yeah.
First of all, why are you giving a 7-year-old an iPhone and AirPods?
This is kind of the parent's responsibility. The boy's mother pledges to be more mindful of gifting small gadgets to her son until he's old enough to know not to eat them.
Yeah.
It's like, well, yeah, you should have probably thought of that before, but it's just...
I believe they have a choking hazard label on them already.
Yeah.
But...
I think he would have been fine with wired headphones.
Yeah.
He would have been just fine.
Big Beats over-ear headphone thing.
Yeah, it's pretty hard to choke on those.
And I don't know. I mean, I'm not a parent, but I feel like there is a certain age when you start gifting technology to your kid, and an iPhone and small headphones at 7 does feel a little young to me.
Yeah, actually,
maybe I'll have a different idea when I'm a parent, but
even the iPhone. Weird. Yeah, even the iPhone.
Yeah. Like, oh, man. Why does a 7-year-old need an iPhone? An iPod Touch, all right, sure. You want a little game thing?
Yeah.
Or, a thing to do stuff, but like an iPhone? Really?
Yeah. Maybe he has an Apple Watch too.
Yeah, probably. It's just too big for him to swallow, so it hasn't been a problem yet.
That's right. So this next story is kind of interesting. If you're someone who maybe uses a Dell PC, Dell will soon let you interact with the iPhone apps from your PC. Now that's sort of. It's not every app. So in 2018, Dell released its Mobile Connect app, which lets you connect your Dell computer to your phone so you can respond to phone calls and texts and receive notifications from apps directly from your computer. So starting this spring, Dell says you'll be able to wirelessly transfer photos and videos and interact with apps on your iOS device while using the Mobile Connect app. Two features that were previously exclusive to using Mobile Connect with Android phones.
Interesting.
So currently you can only transfer photos and videos. Dell says that the new integrations with iOS will work with the XPS, Inspiron, Vostro, Alienware, and G Series PCs from all the way back to January 2018 or later. So it's kind of neat, I guess, if you're someone who has a Dell PC.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it's nice to be able to get some cool, new features like that. And I'm always happy to see Apple products integrating with, non-Apple computers. So
actually,
cool.
Even if it only does, transferring photos and videos, if it makes it easier to a PC, I haven't had a PC in years. I would imagine it's not super easy from an iPhone to a PC, but if it makes it easier, all the better.
Yeah. All right. Apple patents surround sound-like technology for a MacBook. So they won a patent for making acoustics coming from a MacBook sound far away. It's an idea that could make watching movies, TV shows, or videos on a laptop feel significantly more immersive. So they originally applied for the patent in August of 2018, and on the 31st, the patent office finally granted it to them. The virtual acoustic system that Apple envisions would immerse people in sound, whether they're streaming a sport event or a movie, and add to the feeling of being there, according to the patent. It would send out noise at different angles, aiming the audio at specific parts of the room to create the illusion that the sound isn't coming from the laptop. Given how much people have been talking about the superb sound of the new MacBook, it's clear that sound is a focus for Apple. If you think about the push into the content, this makes perfect sense, offering the best possible experience for people consuming Apple TV content on their Mac. Apple does caveat in the patent that there is a virtual acoustic simulations. There's always some imperfections or error that makes the listener notice the sound is actually coming from the laptop. The sound would be, after all, coming from a MacBook. The tech giant said it could fix this by exaggerating the reverberation in other settings. Although Apple won the patent, that doesn't mean the feature is actually going to appear on MacBooks soon or at all. Companies like Apple often patent ideas that could never make their way to market. But the idea could be useful for augmented reality in gaming. Games like Pokemon Go, Harry Potter Wizards Unite already make virtual creatures appear as if they're existing in real life. So faraway sound could add to the illusion. AR hasn't made its way to the MacBooks yet, but when it does, it could use the sound effects. Likewise, if they figured out how to use this technology and cram it into potentially into a laptop, this could be another thing that they end up using in a headset, right, to help create a more immersive environment. Maybe that's why there were speakers that are detachable. It could be an upgraded where you buy it and now you're able to get, immersive sounds, and it's coming from, it sounds like whatever you're listening to is coming from whatever you see in the distance.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
Yeah, pretty neat. And it's always good. I like that they're paying more attention to audio. We've mentioned this in a previous episode or maybe multiple episodes. And the new MacBook Pro, the 16-inch, is supposed to have pretty amazing sound, or, not compared to like home speakers, stuff like that. But people are saying that that's probably the best sounding laptop that they've heard. It's always good, if you're going to watch music, watch TV on your laptop or whatever, or even listen to music in the background as you're working. It's kind of nice.
I will say, so I was in a Best Buy when I was getting the screen fixed on my phone,
Mm-hmm.
and I was sitting there playing with a 16, and I did watch a video clip, and the speakers on it were very nice, and the screen itself was very nice. So it was just overall a very good video watching experience. And I was even in a loud Best Buy, and I could still clearly hear, if I remember correctly, it was a clip of Transformers, I think.
Oh.
And so, Optimus Prime talking and all of the robots clashing together and stuff like that all still sounded very good and crisp and clear. And it didn't have that like tinny reverb that sometimes happens with smaller speakers. It sounded like a nice set of speakers. So
yeah, I heard it has pretty decent bass response. Again, it's not like, home speakers or, high-end speakers, but, really good for a laptop. And I just like that they keep paying attention to the audio in all of our devices, because these iPhone 11 Pro Max, the speakers sound pretty good. I mean, a lot better than even like my 6S Plus. I mean, it's pretty night and day between those speakers. So it's nice.
Well, I remember back in the day, there was a need for a Bluetooth speaker. And nowadays, not really, unless you're going to be in an environment that's really loud. There have been times like we have an impromptu, gathering or something like that, and you just start playing music on the phone, and I won't even have it up all the way because that would be too loud. And the sound quality on it is very good. So,
yeah.
All exciting things for the future.
Yeah, very exciting. Like where they're going. Well, that's kind of it for all of our news stories. I don't have anything in the For Your Entertainment section this week. Sorry, no, nothing to watch.
Keep streaming other stuff on Apple TV or Disney Plus.
Yeah, there you go.
It's all very entertaining.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of neat videos or anything popping up over the holidays. Why don't we move on to our picks? Maybe if you want to go first.
Okay, so my pick is kind of silly. But my pick today is the Magic Mouse 2 Space Gray.
Okay.
It is just like your other Magic Mouse 2. You plug it in on the bottom, which is a weird design flaw. But it's, rechargeable. It has the touch sensitive top on it. And works and acts exactly like a silver and white Magic Mouse 2, except that it is black on top and darker metal on the bottom. Fun fact, it comes with a black lightning cable.
Oh, okay.
Which is also different. That looks better in my car. So I've been using it there. And it costs $20 more than the silver and white one, literally just because of the color. But from an aesthetic standpoint, I think it matches my MacBook a lot better because I have the black keys on there. And, if just really cool. So that's my pick. I got one for Christmas and, been loving it. Nothing really special about it except for the color. But,
and you said it was $20 extra. Like it's $20 more than the regular Magic Mouse.
Yeah, regular Magic Mouse is $79.99. The Space Gray version is $99.99. And I was even talking to the dude at Best Buy and asking, like, what's the difference? Is there anything special about it? Better battery life? And he's like, no, it's literally the color.
It's black.
All right. Well, cool.
What's special about it is it's black.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's funny, though, is I remember when they released the original Magic Mouse, when it was about the same time that the unibody MacBook Pro came out. And actually, it might have been at the same time. And I remember contacting Apple through their website using the chat and asking them about the mouse and saying, I see here that you now have black keys on your MacBook Pros, your new MacBook Pros, but the Magic Mouse is white. Is there any plan to release a black Magic Mouse? And they said, no, not at the time. So this has actually been something I've been wanting for a while. And then when they released it and it was only available with the new Mac Pros or iMac Pros, and at first you could only get it with that, I was a little upset and kind of mad. And then they finally released it, but then to tack on $20 more to buy it separate was a little bit like, okay, fine.
Yeah. Wow.
It does look very nice. So
cool. Very cool. My pick is it's the Makes/Rezero Oil Wax Leather Strap Replacement for Apple Watch. So, yeah, this one's pretty nice. What I like about it is I've had a few leather straps, and they're kind of just the thin leather. This one has like a padding in it to make it kind of appear a little thicker.
Nice.
It has white stitching. It comes in several colors. And the other thing I like, because I've looked at a lot of leather bands, some of them have really, really big buckles, and I don't like that. I have small wrists. This one has a smaller buckle, and it looks really nice. Let me look up the price here.
This is really nice. I have it here. It's right now on Amazon Prime. It's on sale, $15.19.
I'm telling you, as a person who already owns this, it's a fantastic price for what you get. Because it really looks nice. Really, really nice.
Yeah, these pictures look really great too. And the black on the underside is nice as well.
Yeah, and you can get it in a lot of different options. So in other words, different colors, of course, like I mentioned, but you can also get different buckle colors. So
cool.
Yeah, no gold buckles, but there's silver and black. So obviously if you have a black stainless steel Apple Watch or the space gray, the black buckle's going to look really nice with that. So, and I mean, you really can't beat it for that price. And like you said, it's get an extra 8% off right now. I don't know how long that deal is going to last. So maybe
the price does bump up a little bit if you go for the 44 millimeter.
Oh yeah,
but it's $16.88. So
oh well, that's still a bargain.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely, it's still a bargain. That's actually weird that they bump up the price, because that's really weird, because a 42 and a 44 are supposed to be the same strap.
Yeah.
That's really odd. I don't know why they do that. Interesting. Yeah, that's weird.
So maybe just buy the other one and buy the cheaper one, save yourself.
Yeah, I don't know what. I don't know what the different. I don't know. Maybe
I think it's just that they don't offer the discount on that one for whatever reason, but they decided to classify it. I can add the coupon here.
Yeah, there is an 8%.
It'll add the 8%. Yeah, at checkout. So then it goes.
Yeah, and again, I don't know how long that deal lasts. So at the time we post this, I don't know if that 8% will still be available. But even at full price of $16.88, it's a bargain. It's really nice looking band in person. I think the one I got was like the dark brown. Yeah. No, I got the light brown one. It's really nice though. Really nice. It's at that price you can get multiple colors.
Swap them out for every day of the year or day of the week maybe.
Yeah. That's about it for this episode. I do want to point out we have so many stories in this episode that we will not be able to fit all the links in our show notes. Our podcast host only has a certain amount of characters you can fit, but all of our stories, as always, are on Flipboard, and there's also more stories that we can't even fit into the episode, so you can check them out there, and those links will be in the show notes. So thanks everyone for listening, and hope you come back in a couple weeks for our next episode.
Yeah, thanks guys. Happy New Year.
Well, that's it for this episode of the Apple Watchers. Read all the stories we've covered and more stories on Flipboard, a link provided in the show notes. Reach out to us on Twitter @WatchersTweet if you have any suggestions or stories you'd like us to cover. We're available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Overcast, or wherever you get your podcasts. Ask your smart speaker to play the Apple Watchers podcast. Please subscribe and rate us wherever you listen. And thank you for listening. Until the next episode, I hope the only complications in your life are the ones on the face of your Apple Watch.